What if I told you that one random act of kindness on a dark Friday night would completely change a woman's life forever? Sarah Martinez had no idea that the scared teenager she picked up on Highway 35 would walk into her office Monday morning as her new boss. Quick flash of Sarah's shocked face, then cut to black. This isn't just a story about fatness. This is about how one moment of compassion created a miracle that nobody saw coming. And what happened next will blow your mind. Meet Sarah Martinez, a mom of two working double shifts at Henderson Manufacturing for the past 8 years. Every Friday night, same routine drive home from her second job at the diner, exhausted, barely making ends meet. Interior of modest apartment, kids asleep, bills stacked on kitchen table. Sarah was drowning in debt, behind on rent, her car was falling apart, and she'd just been told that layoffs were coming to Henderson Manufacturing. Had maybe 2 weeks before losing everything back to car scene. Windshield wipers struggling against heavy rain. But on this particular Friday night, October 13th, at exactly 11:47 p.m., Sarah's life was about to take the most unexpected turn imaginable. Car headlights illuminate a figure on the side of the road. Fear soaked to the bone and shivering in the rain was a kid who couldn't have been more than 17 years old. No, every instinct told Sarah to keep driving. It's nearly midnight, she's alone, and this is exactly the kind of situation her mother warned her about. But something about this kid, something made her stop. Flashback montage of Sarah's own struggles as a teenager. Maybe it was because Sarah remembered what it felt like to be young, scared, and alone. Maybe it was because she'd raised two kids who could one day need help from a stranger. Are you okay? Do you need help? The teenager approaches, clearly distressed. Designer clothes soaked through me. Car broke down. My phone's dead. I don't know this area at all. Kid introduced himself as Marcus. What Sarah didn't know was that Marcus had been driving back from a college interview when his brand new BMW broke down. What she also didn't know was that Marcus's last name was Henderson, as in Henderson Manufacturing, as in the company that employed Sarah's and the family that literally controlled her entire future. Sarah unlocks her car door. Skit in. I'll take you wherever you need to go for the next 45 minutes. As Sarah drove Marcus across town to his family's estate, something magical happened at the talk. Marcus had never met anyone like Sarah. Here was this woman driving a beat-up Honda with duct tape holding the passenger seat together, working 2 jobs to support her kids, and she still stopped to help a complete stranger. What do you do for work? I work at Henderson Manufacturing during the day, and I waitress at Murphy's Diner at night. Not glamorous, but it pays the bills. Barla. Marcus's heart sank. Knew exactly what was happening at Henderson Manufacturing. His grandfather, the founder, had just passed away. His father was taking over and planned to cut costs. Immediate layoffs were scheduled for Monday morning. Marcus looks out the window, conflicted, but as Sarah continued talking about her dreams for her children, her pride in her work, despite the low pay, her determination to never give up, Marcus saw something his privileged upbringing had never shown him. You know what I love most about my job at Henderson? It's not just a paycheck we're building things that matter. Every part that comes off our line is going into someone's home, someone's life. There's dignity in that. Marcus had grown up hearing quarterly reports and profit. Marcus never heard anyone talk about their work with such genuine pride and purpose. Ecker pulls up to massive estate gate. This is my house. Sarah's eyes widen at the mansion. Wow, your parents must be worried sick. As Marcus got out of the car, he turned back to Sarah with tears in his eyes. Thank you, not just for the riddle, for reminding me what really matters. Sarah drives away, unaware of the impact she's mad at. That weekend, Marcus couldn't stop thinking about Sarah. He learned everything he could about her 8 years with the company. Perfect attendance, never a complaint, consistently rated as one of their most reliable employees. Marcus pacing in his father's study also learned she was on the layoff list for Monday morning. Flashback to Marcus's conversation with his father. Son, business is business way. Need to cut 200 jobs to stay competitive. It's nothing personal. Wit. If I told you there was a better way, if instead of cutting people we invested in them for the first time in his life? Marcus challenged his father, not with anger or rebellion, but with passion and purpose. He spent the entire weekend creating a presentation that would change everything. Monday morning arrived like a storm. Sarah knew layoffs were coming. She prepared herself for the worst, but she still showed up with her Head held high. Sarah walking through factory floor saying goodbye to coworker Shat. Sarah didn't expect was to be called into the main conference room with 20 other employees. Shit. She definitely didn't expect was to see Marcus Henderson walk. Through those dramatic moments, Sarah's face when she recognizes Marcus, but this wasn't the scared teenager from Friday night. This was Marcus Henderson Jr., wearing a suit that cost more than Sarah made in a month carrying himself with. The confidence of someone born to lead. Marcus steps to the front of the room. Good morning, everyone. I'm Marcus Henderson Jr., and as of today, I'm your new CEO. The room went silent. Sarah felt her world spinning. The kid she'd helped was now the person who would decide her fate. I called you all here because you represent the heart and soul of this company. Are not being laid off. You are being promoted. Conference room, shocked faces of employees. Shit happened next defied every corporate expectation. Marcus announced the most revolutionary change in Henderson Manufacturing's history. We're not cutting jobs. We're investing in people. Every person in this room is being promoted to team leader. Salaries are being doubled and you'll be in charge of training and mentoring new employees. Employees crying, hugging disbelief at Marcus wasn't Donna. Had one more surprise that would leave everyone speechless. Martinez, would you please step forward? Sarah, trembling, walks to the front. On Friday night, this woman taught me more about leadership, compassion, and the true meaning of success than 4 years of business school ever could. Sarah, I'd like to offer you the position of Director of Employee Relations. Gasps from the crowd. Sarah covers her mouth in shock. Salary $85,000 a year, benefits, full medical, dental, and college funds for her children. Catch, there wasn't one flashback sequence to Marcus's childhood, but why did this moment mean so much to Marcus? Truth is, Marcus had been lost long before that rainy Friday night. Images of Marcus as a lonely child in the mansion growing up as the heir to a manufacturing empire. Marcus had everything money could buy, but nothing that Moderetta's parents were always working. His friends only cared about his wealth, and he'd never experienced genuine human connection. Marcus in therapy sessions looking depressed. By age 16, Marcus was battling severe depression, attempted suicide twice, and was seeing 3 different therapists. His parents' solution: send him to the best schools, buy him the best cars, give him the best of everything. The night of the breakdown, Marcus's car on the side of the road. That Friday night, Marcus wasn't just stranded because of car trouble. Was having a complete mental breakdown, been driving aimlessly for hours, contemplating ending everything. Zara's car approaching in the rain. When Sarah stopped, she didn't just give Marcus a radish, gave him hope. For 45 minutes he experienced what it felt like to be valued not for his money or his name, but for his humanity. 6 months after that rainy Friday night, Henderson Manufacturing had become the most sought-after employer in the state. Productivity was up 340%. Employee satisfaction was at an all-time high, and profits had double. Montage of happy employees, thriving workplace culture. But the real transformation was in the people. Sarah had become the heart of the company, creating mentorship programs, employee support groups, and family assistance funds. Sarah in her new office. Her children, who once worried about having enough food, were now in private schools with full scholarship. Her son wanted to be an engineer. Her daughter dreamed of being a teacher. Marcus and Sarah working together. And Marcus, he'd found his purpose under Sarah's guidance. He learned that true leadership isn't about commanding from above, it's about lifting others up. Henderson Manufacturing story went viral. News outlets across the country covered the midnight miracle, the random act of kindness that transformed an entire company. Interviews with Sarah and Marcus appeared on every major talk show, sharing their story and inspiring millions, but they always emphasized the same message: kindness isn't just nice, it's revolutionary. Companies implementing similar changes. Within a year, over 200 companies had adopted the Henderson model, prioritizing employee welfare and treating workers as family rather than expendable resources. Sarah and Marcus sitting together 1 year later after that fateful night. Sarah and Marcus sat down to reflect on how a single moment of compassion changed everything. You know what I learned? We're all just one decision away from changing someone's life for worth. At night I was in a very dark place. Your kindness literally saved my life. This is when the full truth came out. Marcus revealed that he'd been contemplating suicide that night. Sarah's simple act of stopping hadn't just given him a redit, had given him a reason to live aboth. Emotional tears in their eyes sometimes, the smallest gestures create the biggest. Miraculous Amities helping a stranger isn't just about them, it's about discovering who you're meant to become a montage of the transformed lives Sarah's kids, graduating Marcus mentoring other young executives. Thriving company culture. Today Henderson Manufacturing employs over 5,000 people. Average salary has tripled. Employee turnover is less than 2%, and it all started because one woman chose kindness over fear. Final shot, the exact spot on Highway 35, where Sarah picked up Marcus, now marked with a small memorial plaque with ears, now a plaque on Highway 35. That reads in memory of the night that proved kindness can change the world. Sometimes the person you help today becomes the person who saves you tomorrow. Sarah and Marcus standing by the plaque together. I just did what anyone should do. No, Sarah, you did what heroes do. You chose love over fear. Next time you see someone who needs help, remember Sarah and Marcus. Remember that every person you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about, and remember that your kindness might just be the miracle someone desperately needs. Final message on screen: be the reason someone believes in the goodness of people. What would you have done that night? Share this story if you believe in the power of kindness. Bez, somewhere out there someone needs to see this. Needs to know that miracles are real and they start with Yusuf. This story moved you, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. To subscribe for more incredible true stories that prove love and kindness can change the world. And remember, you never know when your moment to be someone's miracle will come.